Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 22 of the F1 24 My Team career mode, this time here for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Of course, those of you that have been sticking around with the Matt212 YouTube channel will know that we tried to do this race in the driver career mode a couple of weeks ago and the game completely glitched out on me, so this is actually my very first Las Vegas Grand Prix inside F1 24. And I must admit, I am slightly nervous for it. I've got no idea really what to expect as we head into the Grand Prix. But of course, if you're new around here, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed to the channel as well. At the time this video goes live, I am coming home from the Spa 24. I hope I had a good time. I don't know just yet. But of course, yeah, obviously the Austrian Grand Prix as well happened yesterday. It was a banger. It was terrible. I don't know at the time of recording once again. But of course, yeah, we're trying to hit 4,000 subs on the channel at the moment. So if you'd help us get one step closer, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. In terms of the upgrades, we have got 4 upgrades left to do on the car. All of them costing about 400 with the exception of the front wing adjuster bracket. So we've done most of the expensive upgrades. We're really just trying to get the last few little bits and pieces done. I'm hoping Vegas can be a good race for us, simply because we've struggled so much in the last couple of races. Max Verstappen, though, officially is your Formula 1 World Champion this season, but Ferrari and Mercedes are still keeping Red Bull on it in terms of the constructors. They both need a big result here if they want to try and keep the fight going as we head back out towards the Middle East for Qatar and, of course, the season finale in Abu Dhabi. We're 8 points back behind Alpine in the Constructors' Championship as well. We're 13 back behind Oscar Piastri in the Drivers' Championship, so a lot to fight for still before the end of the year. But yeah, let's head back then here to Vegas.
Fast cars, bright lights, welcome to practice here in Las Vegas. Let's get this sensational show on the road.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen this around the Las Vegas circuit inside the F1 games, but it is raining here as we make our way out for free practice. Maybe I'll clickbait it that we got rain in Las Vegas for the video, I don't know. But ultimately, yeah, I think this track would be absolutely brutal to race on in these conditions. Of course, it was slippery enough last year because it was so cold in the city. But yeah, this year, I mean, if it rains, I think there'll be a lot of drivers struggling for grip and traction. That's not going to put us down, though. We're still going to try and get a good free practice session under our belt. First of all, we are doing the tyre wear sim run. So far, the grip doesn't actually feel too bad. Obviously, the team felt it was dry enough to send us out on the dry compounded tyres. Seems a little bit risky, first of all. I'd probably, yeah, if I had a real Formula 1 car, I would probably be trying to make sure we go out on the inters first of all, just to make sure. Because I have visions of myself there going down the pit lane exit and just immediately understeering into the pit wall. We've timed that DRS, though, being enabled quite well as we just go into the detection point, way shorter than it was last year, so we might not see as high speeds around this circuit, but still well in excess of 200 miles an hour. There's plenty of understeer down at the end of the straight, but I believe, yeah, we should still be able to get the purple score. Well, I don't know how many times I've mentioned it across both the channels in the last few days, but qualifying has absolutely been my Achilles heel recently. We haven't seen many Q2s. Obviously, you can't get Q2 in this series, but you know what I mean. Obviously, just qualifying a little bit higher up the order. Maybe the high top speeds here of Vegas, a bit of an unorthodox circuit, can really play into our hand. So that's the first time ever I've seen the delta go up through turn 2. Maybe they've patched that for this year's game. Making our way, though, out onto the back straight. Yeah, I think I did just double check that we weren't getting the same bug that we did last time around when we came here to Vegas. We've actually timed this qualifying run at the perfect moment because obviously the circuit is just dried up. 216 miles an hour down the strip. So we brake just at the 100-meter board ready for these final few tricky corners. The curbs this year are so high around this circuit. You've got to be really careful of those. As we make our way then out of the final turn, 1.7 seconds up on the delta. That's pretty good. But ultimately, I find it's not always a great representative.
The walls are close, the speeds are high, and the location is borderline unbelievable. It is time for qualifying in Las Vegas.
Well, as we head out into qualifying then here in Vegas, I'm really hoping those points we scored at COTA don't end up being our last of the season. But yeah, I think if anywhere there was going to be a good shot for us to string a surprise, hopefully it is going to be this track tonight then, as we chuck the car through turn 1 and turn 2. This first lap is going to be a little bit more about kind of winding up the pace. The second one is where we're really going to put it all on the line. But yeah, I've checked more than I care to admit to make sure that the game still isn't glitching out here. I don't think it is. Charles Leclerc almost dipping under the 90-second mark as he finishes off his first lap in anger. Or really throw the car. You've got to try and nudge that curb on the inside, but be so careful that it doesn't put you in the outside wall. This Renault power unit, though, seems to have pretty good top-end speed. Provides that power right up towards the top of the rev range then, as we open up the DRS down the back straight. There goes 210 miles an hour, 215. Pretty much by the time we get ourselves onto the brakes there, as we really try and chuck the car over the curbs through the final couple of corners. Power back down as you make the long run back towards the start-finish line. Ocon down in P20. Iwasa down in P21. Are we going to be able to relegate them any further? We relegate Iwasa. We just nothing. There's no pace in this car anymore. And you combine that with a Haas that struggled recently. It is a long mental game we're playing. Well, I don't really know why, but as we've gone back out for our second qualifying run, then Iwasa has decided he's going to stay in the pit lane. Don't know whether he's got a mechanical issue or he hit the wall or something, but I guess we're not going to get out-qualified by our teammate today, just like we did in Interlagos then. But we need about another half a second if we want to be fighting with some of the other runners. So really trying to tap that curb through turn 1. You can wedge the car over a couple of the curbs here, but it is quite a risky game. So we round our way out of turn 2, finding a 10th of a second already. There we go, Carlos Sainz. The first sub-90-second lap time here is why on earth. AI battling just in front of us. Again, tip the car over the curbs, right up towards the wall on the exit of the corner as we head round towards the sphere. Braking a little bit earlier that time around to find the apex, and it gives you just a better run right the way throughout that section of corners there. Or nudge the inside, that's not good. That we want to try and go quicker than at the moment. They're 3 wide in front of me. What on earth is going on? We're getting a nice slipstream though from it, so I'm not going to complain too much. Hopefully all of these AI are going to move out of the way. There was Magnussen, Leclerc and Esteban there. All in the way still. What is this? What are you doing? All of them 3 wide. They're not even on a lap.
Okay, be careful with the front wing. You've taken some minor damage. Okay.
I might have swiped Esteban Ocon at 190 miles an hour. So stupid. I don't know if we were going to beat anybody else there. We might have got the better of Ocon, but when are the AI going to learn how to drive in qualifying? Well, there we go. Just like we saw in 2023, Ferrari actually looking very, very racy around this Vegas circuit there. Carlos Sainz, the only driver that went under 1.5 minutes. But yeah, we end up P21. I did beat out Ocon, though, because he DNF'd, and Bottas has got a 5-place grid penalty for something over the course of that session, so both Alpines getting themselves in the wars. So I think it just ended up being quite a messy end to qualifying. So let's try and put that behind us, and we'll focus on the Grand Prix.
We're on the glitz and the glamour of the famous strip. It is time for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. 3.8 miles and 3 straights. A good place to do some sightseeing at around 210 miles per hour. 17 corners should provide plenty of interest and lots of overtaking with 2 DRS zones. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, and starting next to them is George Russell. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Fernando Alonso, Hamilton, Perez, Norris, Oscar Piastri, Albon, Gasly, Hülkenberg, Leclerc, Ricciardo, Verstappen, Stroll, Magnussen, Sargent, Joe, Tsunoda, Ocon, Mr. Monaco, Iwasa, and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, mate, I know it's not a great position to be starting on the grid, and it also puts us slap bang in the middle of the danger zone where risk is high. So be careful, pick your battles, and let's see if we can pick a few positions off along the way.
Well, qualifying didn't go very well for us here, but I've got a sneaking suspicion hopefully we're going to be a bit stronger in the race. There is a small threat of rain right the way throughout the evening. I really hope that doesn't happen. To be honest, Vegas is scary enough, never mind with the wet line transition inside this game. So we're going to hope for the best here as we make our way into the Grand Prix. 5 red lights. And it's going to be lights out, and away we go there. Verstappen and Carlos Sainz both through grid penalties. So they've got a lot to do this afternoon, but Charles Leclerc... sorry, it's Leclerc, isn't it, with grid penalties, not Carlos Sainz. So Sainz hopefully is going to fly the Ferrari flag here over the course of the afternoon, as we've immediately made up one spot on Esteban Ocon. Then Karma for qualifying yesterday, as we'll try and see if we can get a run on Zhou Guanyu up this first of the back straights. Don't really know which one you're going to count as the back straight here, as Zhou, I think he wanted to tuck in behind Sargent, but I fancied that as a 2-2 motorsport size gap instead there, as we make our way down into the middle sector. Got to be really, really careful here. So easy to bang your front wing, but if everyone else is going to Constantina up, and I'm going to try and capitalise down the inside of the one American in his 3rd home race of the year there. We'll get past him. And up into 17th place then, so 2 places gained, isn't it? Off of the start of this one then. So, I mean, look at this, everybody. It's a blind corner, and immediately everybody's just stopped. That reminds me of that huge GT3 pile-up at Macau all those years ago. But Sainz already then at the front of the field. Looks to be trying to stretch his legs. Let's not forget Mercedes and Ferrari here. Want to try and make sure they outscore Red Bull by enough points that they can keep the fight going into Qatar. I believe they basically just need to outscore Red Bull here, and then they would still be close enough where they can try and fight with them to the end of the year. I believe they need 103 points if they want to try and wrap up the constructors here, as we'll try and get a run then on Yuki Tsunoda out of the final corner up over the start-finish line. Are we going to be able to move through? Yes, we are.
We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
I apologise to Yuki. I just realised there I accidentally put him way closer to the wall than I ever intended at the final corner. That pinch between 1 and 2, though, was deliberate. Here we go. Try and get a run then on Kevin Magnussen. Of course, not only is it Logan Sargent's home race, but it is also Haas's. What kind of speed are we going to be able to get here, actually, as we make our way down the back straight? 227, 227 is the absolute limit there for this car at the moment. Maybe if we run in lower downforce, we could get up towards 230 as Ricciardo and Verstappen trying to battle it out on the exit of the corner. We're going to get a monstrous run. That Red Bull, I think, has just about got enough top-end speed. Here comes Ricciardo again, trying to have a fight back around the outside. Make sure we keep the wheels in between the white lines. Down the inside of the Dutchman. We were a little bit aggressive. We tried to break up my qualifying line, but we get it stopped. Oh, here we go. Stroll then trying to look around the outside of Nico Hülkenberg. Is that going to go almost 3 wide down the end of the short chute? Are we going to see Stroll make a double overtake? Yes, we are. Bad Stroll there. What a little move by the Aston Martin, man. Nice to see him finally with a bit more confidence in that car after getting some good points last time out in Brazil. Technically able to beat his teammate Fernando Alonso, mainly because obviously Alonso's penalty late on in that race. But yeah, we're keeping Verstappen at bay at the moment. I think now the championship's wrapped up, I don't think he really cares too much about the constructors, to be completely honest, because yeah, he's just not really making an impact here in the same way Charles Leclerc seems to be able to. Carlos Sainz could be on for another victory in this series, which yeah, do Ferrari wonders late on in the campaign. Are we just seeing, though, you can see the AI, they really try and use the battery quite late on down the straights. Are we going to see Stroll under pressure, though? Hülkenberg trying to follow Gasly back around his outside. This is a race far more about strategy than pace, to be completely honest, so it kind of plays into our hand. So we're going to try and get a run then on Hülkenberg here out of the final corner. I mean, look how much speed we've got. So we make our way back down. Tiny bit of contact with Pierre Gasly, but we'll try to get to his inside. Oh, Gasly there, the confidence on the brakes to go clean back around me. Gasly again then trying to have a look around the outside of Lance Stroll as Hülkenberg is trying to defend from Max Verstappen. A little bit late on the brakes. You've got to be so careful you don't panic on this game when you make that error. But again then, the AI just tripping over each other down through that final couple of corners. We're going to get down the inside of Gasly and Lance Stroll. Of course, because his Lance Stroll doesn't spot me. And the inside will go, though. We'll see if Gasly will get past him as well, then. Into the points. Feels like it's been a while since I've said that in this series. I mean, yeah, going up against the AI when they've got their DRS is pretty pointless here. Lance Stroll will get back around my outside in towards the final couple of turns. I guess we just got to try and utilise each other here to get closer to Alex Albon.
Now that you're in the wake of the car ahead, try to get past as soon as possible.
I've ended up back behind Stroll for about 3 seconds before Mark gets on the radio about that. But yeah, Verstappen now, maybe I insulted him earlier on by saying he doesn't care, because he's starting to just slice his way through. Oh, Max Verstappen there as well. I was too busy looking at my tyre strategy. Down the inside he'll go, and I'm sure we're going to see him line up the move on Lance. Yeah, Max Verstappen doesn't tend to make many mistakes. He did at Silverstone in the driver career mode, but it's not often. So we have yellow flags out for no cars. What on earth is going on? Is it another Sauber breaking down by any chance? Please don't tell me it's a Yumu. I think it is. Is it? I don't know what's going on. Yes, it is. It's another Sauber mechanical issue. This time around, it's Zhou Guanyu that is out of the Vegas Grand Prix. Are we going to see Verstappen, though, try and get the run on Sir Lancelot as we make our way out onto the strip once again? I do quite like the fact you've got all those neon and, you know, LED lights and everything around the circuit. It does give you a good sense of the atmosphere. But I wonder how much it harms performance around this track. As here we go. There's not room there, Max. Oh, here we go. Stroll and Verstappen then. This is going to be interesting. You can see Max this time around forced to the outside. Stroll's willing to get the elbows out today, and I think we just heard there Max make slight contact with the wall. Are we going to see the Aston Martin go the long way around? No, we aren't. Whoa, unlock the rears. One quick snap of correction, though, and the car just grips back up. And now I've got no idea what's happened to the gaggle of cars in front, but the two Spaniards are broken free here. Oh, I thought Stroll was moving around the other way, but he didn't. We're now going to have the slipstream off of Verstappen. Where is the Dutchman going to try and go here down in towards the final few corners again? This time around we're 3 wide. I mean, I got pinched on the apex there. We pick up a little bit of side pod damage. Somehow Verstappen comes out on top still.
Taking some damage, you might start to notice it soon.
Maybe Stroll didn't realise there and was down the inside of him, but yeah, this is costing all of us a bit of time at the moment.
You're going to be on softs.
I think it's genuinely in our best interest now to let sort of Max get on with it and try and take us to Albon. I mean, all it takes is just for the two AI at the front of a train to go side by side somewhere, and immediately you close in a good 1.5 seconds on them. As here we go. Verstappen, I think, has brought us close enough to Alex Albon in that Williams. So down the inside we'll go. Thank you very much, Max. Charles Leclerc, though, he's having an absolute race of it so far. Clearly, you know, Ferrari's hopes kind of pinned on him having a good recovery drive. His Sainz just absolutely walking this thing at the front. Leclerc's all the way back up into P3 then, as Albon now trying to fight it out with the McLaren pair. I would love to take some points out of Oscar today.
Hard on the in-lap.
Yeah, I'm tempted actually to go slightly longer and then stop for some softs, because tyre wear here is basically non-existent as well. But if we could take points out of both Oscar and Alpine, that would give us a bit more hope as we head into the final couple of Grand Prix. Are we going to be able to have a look past Alex Albon then as we make our way down this short chute again? There's Norris and Piastri side by side just in front. Oh, we almost locked the rears up quite badly, but we get it stopped. Oh, hello, Oscar Piastri's kind of going to open the door for me. But he's kind of opened the door and let me straight through. We run a little bit deep into the next corner. It was a robust move on my championship rival.
Remember the speed limit. We'll be penalised if we exceed it. Keep that in mind as you approach.
I think we're going to try and stay out at least one more lap here. I mean, the tyres are already at 30% wear, so they really haven't had to do a lot so far. But when so much of this track is straight lines, and of course it is such low track temperature here in the middle of the night, we've got a pretty decent shot. I mean, we could probably no-stop this race if I wanted to. Are we going to see other AI into the pit lane? Lando Norris is coming in, as most other runners are. Perez, Russell, and Carlos Sainz opt to stay out. Everybody else then into the pit lane. So from 20th on the grid, we are going to lead here in Vegas. I'm only going to try and go one more lap, I think, and then we'll move over to the soft compound tyres. But yeah, this feels pretty special inside F1 24. And yeah, I mean, with the last couple of races we've had, leading any race is pretty impressive.
For the hard tyres. Car behind, running hard tyres.
Oh, yellow flags out now would be perfect.
18.6 seconds.
Who is it with issues, though? It's Carlos Sainz! Sainz out of the Grand Prix, the second Ferrari power unit of the night that's gone up. And that really puts Ferrari's title hopes at jeopardy then. Carlos Sainz is out of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. I mean, I would take a safety car or a red flag or anything now. I think the Ferrari driver, though, has gone out of the way of everybody else there. But heartbreak for Ferrari, heartbreak for Sainz, but elation for Fernando Alonso.
Oh, we think you're going to start losing some tyre grip anytime now.
The Spaniard now looking absolutely dominant at the front of the order. How good would that have been had we got a safety car there? But Charles Leclerc now up into P2 then of the Grand Prix. So we've got to be very careful we don't get done for speeding. 50 miles an hour on pit lane entry. Be careful we don't get done as Alonso then to the lead of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Should have won last time out in Brazil. They got screwed over by that penalty. We'll see whether he faces the same kind of misfortune here today. As soft tyres going on the wagon.
Perfect job from you and the crew there, mate. We're delighted with that. Okay, one stop to go. Just one stop left in this strategy.
I promise you we do not have a stop yet to go still in this race, team. But we've come out in P12 then, so we've dropped a couple of places. But we've got 2 stage softer tyres than anybody else. These next few laps are going to be absolutely race-defining here. We've got to try and get through this gaggle of cars. Immediately purple through the middle sector. Surely we can try and get a run on Pierre Gasly. So we'll try and make sure we balance out our ERS usage as best as we can. We need a little splash more as we'll go clean around the outside of the Alpine. Piastri now versus Max Verstappen just in front, who is going to come out on top in all of these battles. Surely we can get around Pierre, which we will. Stroll and Albon still tripping over each other on the exit of the corner. That might open up an opportunity for Oscar Piastri to really try and get a run there, but he hasn't been able to capitalise as Stroll around the outside of the Williams. I mean, this track really does give anybody a shot at scoring points there as Verstappen... Whoa! Verstappen, I think, was trying to defend from me, but he actually went down the inside of Oscar Piastri in the end. We would go 3 wide temporarily back through turn 1 there as Oscar's almost going to try and swing him out in towards the wall. Are we going to be able to get a run then on the McLaren off of the corner? Surely we've got decent speed here as Max Verstappen again goes defensive late on the brakes around the outside of 1. We can't quite make it 2 though, as still Stroll and Albon side by side in front. This is why these laps are so critical in a race like this, because you've got to try and get through and leave these other cars squabbling there. A little bit of contact with Max, but we'll go down the inside at the very next corner. We just about get in front of him as Stroll nudges the wall there, trying to hang alongside Alex Albon. It is intense, it is physical, and it is a mind game battling here on the Vegas streets. We're going to back out of it and try and get the run off of the corner. 3 wide with Albon and Stroll as we make our way back out onto the strip. I don't know if we ever saw this in real life, but it's happened now inside F1 24. We got no battery at all though, and I think rather stupidly I've given them both the DRS there. Then we got more contact with Verstappen, who's trying to barge his way through. I mean, look at that! 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 cars are going to fly back past me. We almost go into the back of Lance as well. Just about avoid front wing damage there. Inches between us all. Tempers are certainly beginning to flare here on the Vegas streets as Albon now under pressure from Oscar Piastri. Somehow Verstappen has found himself right in the front of this group. I promise you, team, I am not boxing again, as we'll try and have a look back down the inside of Stroll. Hey, come on, mate, I'm there. You've got to give me some room. As around the outside, we'll try and go. That Stroll, yeah, clearly he's got his real-life awareness stat inside this game, and it's got to be about 4 there. Almost puts himself inside the wall. I mean, this is ridiculous with 10 laps to go. Around the outside of the Canadian. I'm so scared to do it now, because you never know what he's going to try and do against you. Down the inside, come on, come on, come on. Absolutely force him out there. I'm not willing to play games with Lance. Oscar Piastri again down the inside of Max Verstappen. This is a fantastic race for me to lose my voice on. As Piastri just snagged the brake there. I kind of panicked as to where he would re-emerge in the road. Really nice run though at the final turn. We've got to try and get past these guys if we want to make sure these soft tyres last to the end of the race. So are we going to be able to get a run on Albon? No, he's going to try and look for a move on Verstappen.
15.9 seconds.
Not quite able to get close enough to his former Red Bull teammate. So you can just see that Albon again trying to do the Lance Stroll battle tactic against myself. This time around, though, he gets fully back in front. I mean, that's just dangerous, trying to put me right in the wall. What is Albon doing? More wheel-to-wheel battling with the other drivers. Verstappen's gone around the outside of Oscar again. trying to defend his P7. I mean, this race is going to take about 5 years off me life, the way it's going. And here we go, these two side by side. Are we going to be able to try and do anything? Not there. Piastri backs out. We almost hit the inside wall. Right, come on then. I think Piastri and I both want to get the run on Verstappen this time round as we make our way down the straight. We are just going to drain the battery entirely as we'll try and get the run past Max. Are we going to be able to get the speed over Oscar Piastri? Down the inside we'll go. Pretty much wheel to wheel with him as we both break at the 100-meter board. He tries to pinch me again to that inside curb. Oh, a huge moment of oversteer on the exit where we make the move happen. Oscar, though, is surely going to be able to get the run back on me as Verstappen seems to, I think, have got a little bit tripped up, battling with Alex Albon behind. This gives both Oscar and I a huge opportunity.
So let's box this lap, box this lap.
I think Oscar realises that and just decides to slot back in. I think we're about to watch Oscar Piastri fly back past me once again, then down this back straight. There he goes. Max Verstappen in hot pursuit as well there. Down the inside goes the Dutchman. I think Wally's trying to have a look down the inside of Oscar Piastri as well. I'm looking on the mini-map, though. Charles Leclerc might genuinely still be able to win this race. He is taking decent time out of Alonso, but he's only got 7 more laps to close in as Verstappen trying to have a look down the inside of Oscar again. I mean, why couldn't these two fight behind me rather than getting back from front before they did all this? Trying to just sit in behind Oscar Piastri and Max Verstappen over the last couple of laps and just let things calm down here. But with 4 laps to go, that might have proven to be a little bit of a mistake because now they've both been able to get away from me here. We're not going to quite be in the DRS range just yet as Oscar tries to have a look back around the outside of Verstappen again. Down in towards the final few corners. You can see a little bit of carbon fibre getting kicked up from the Red Bull's diffuser, but yeah, suddenly I think our soft tyres starting to hit the cliff here. 4 laps to go from Vegas as Piastri will try and go back around the outside of Verstappen. Remember, we need to try and beat Oscar here if we want any chance of beating him overall in the Drivers' Championship. There is a lot at stake. The same can't be said for Verstappen, at least personally, but Red Bull look to still be losing points to Ferrari. So here we go, Verstappen again to the outside of Oscar. We just get a couple of laps of calm, and then it all just kicks back off again here in Vegas. As Verstappen the long way around, he'll make it work. Right, come on then, Oscar. I got no more time to really mess around, buddy, to be honest. We need to try and get on with it. I need to start claiming the track position here as around the outside of the Australian will go. We're going to have most of the slipstream from Max Verstappen then as we make our way down. A little bit more splash there just as he goes defensive as we try and commit. 3 wide again. We'll give him all plenty of room, but we'll make it round the outside there as Verstappen, slaps the wall on the inside as well. We had to try and get all the way around him. Otherwise, I think he was going to wash out into me. But we are through and back into P7 once again. Can we run away? Probably not. 2 laps to go then here from Vegas, and now we are really starting to try and position ourselves ready for the end of this race. Verstappen clean back around my outside once again. Can't help but feel the soft compound tyres maybe hitting the cliff towards the end of the race there. As you can see, the Dutchman able just to put the power down, able to get the traction over me at the moment. And again, it's just going to inch away, but this car can take curbs so well around this venue. We've really set up the car quite nicely to balance itself over a lot of them. But now, Max Verstappen, he's just running away from me as we make our way down this kind of, well, it's not really a straight, but it is completely flat out. The Dutchman, we've got to stay in the 1 second detection point by the time we're back in that DRS zone, and you can see it's not going to happen. Verstappen, late on in the day here, I think he's just going to wave goodbye to us, and we're going to be left vulnerable to Oscar Piastri and Lance Stroll behind. Here comes Oscar, clean around the outside. He's going to be able to go there. Where is Stroll and Albon? They're a little bit further back, so maybe Piastri can drag me back in towards the clutches of the Dutchman as we're about to start the final lap of the Grand Prix. Someone that has already started that final lap is Fernando Alonso at the front of the field there. He's absolutely walked away ever since Carlos Sainz's mechanical failure. It looked like it was going to be Sainz versus him, and even then it was a long shot for Fernando.
Lap of the race, final lap.
But yeah, once that Ferrari power unit went bang, Fernando Alonso has never really looked back there. A huge moment of oversteer through the first couple of corners. The tyres are gone. You can hear us wheel spinning absolutely everywhere off of the first couple of corners. Oscar Piastri, we needed to outscore him today, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen as Stroll will sail it around my outside as well. Oh no, Albon. We just understeered a little bit wide there, and Albon decided he was not going to give me any room on the exit of the corner. Apparently that's my fault. I don't want to leave here without a point, surely. This has been easily one of the most dramatic races of the season. Contact absolutely everywhere. I'd be staggered if anyone's made it through this race without colliding with another car at some point here. But Albon might now be losing the DRS to the Aston Martin in front of him. We're still under pressure from one of the Alpines as we nudge the wall again. Come on, we've got to try and get a run. We've got to try and get a run on Alex Albon, but I don't know. I don't think he's in the range of Lance Stroll in front of him, but he's just pulling away from me. We have got no battery as we make our way down this back straight there, and we haven't got anything. We're not even inside the DRS range of Alex Albon here. We're going to go 3 wide down in towards the final corners. The soft compound tyre has not worked out for us today. Alonso is going to take the Grand Prix victory. Charles Leclerc P2. We aren't going to walk away with anything though, and once again, bad luck strikes in this series. The tyres fell off, and we come through for P12.
The old master has done it again. Fernando Alonso takes the checkered flag.
To overcome the difficult circumstances they face throughout this race today, it's not easy, and it really shows a lot of maturity, and you can use this, you can draw on this as a driver moving forward and boost your confidence through the rest of the championship.
It's time to present the top drivers with their trophies for today's Grand Prix. And there are a lot of people in the paddock very happy with this result. It's Aston Martin on the top step.
I don't know how many times I'm going to say it towards the end of the year, but how much bad luck can we seem to get inside this series? Fernando Alonso takes the win here on the Las Vegas streets, 4.4 seconds clear of Charles Leclerc. He is definitely my driver of the day there, from 11th on the grid to a very comfortable P2 come the checkered flag there. Perez beats out Russell in a drag race to the line that could prove pivotal come the end of the year there, with Norris splitting the Mercs, Hamilton ahead of Verstappen, Piastri, Stroll and Alex Albon rounding out your top 10 there. We took the gamble with the tyres, and unfortunately it did not pay off. Ayumu Asa, a very lonely race, beats out Hulkenberg with just Sainz and Zhou Guanyu failing to see the finish. That means in terms of the Drivers' Championship, Verstappen, yeah, an 87-point lead at the top of the table. George Russell looking pretty much locked in for P3 now, ahead of his teammate there as Perez rejumps Sainz. Alonso back ahead of Lando Norris as well. And yeah, there could still be some battles between them towards the end of the year there. Constructors-wise, 94 now the gap between Ferrari and Red Bull. I believe, yeah, we've still got like 100 points available. 103, I think, between now and the end of the year. So Red Bull need to score 10 points in the final 2 Grand Prix, and that will be it, done and dusted for them. We are 8 back now from Alpine as well, so just continuing to lack those final little bits and pieces that we need right towards the end of the year. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 1 returns, ready in Qatar.